Welcome, friends. LostScarf here, and it's time for the vlog. You're wondering where the joke is? It's my life right now. Okay, so we're talking about the job and also the channel. So how that all works together right now. I've talked about it a few times before, but now that I'm in it, I can better talk about it. So if you're wondering what the job is, in case I haven't talked about it in a while, because I think it's been a couple months since I've talked about it, it is a water plant operator. Water plant operator? Yeah, that's how you put it. I'm a water plant operator. And so the way it works is throughout the world, there are these plants that make water. That's pretty much how it is. Like they make the water for a city and they're what keeps it alive. Like Israel has a pure water plant that turns seawater into drinkable water, which is what we're trying to do here in the San Diego as well. That's going to come up in the future. We had the Poseidon plant, but we might have another one. We actually got help from Israel for that as well. What's that? Oh, Dubai. Dubai, that really rich country. They also have one as well. There's a couple of countries in the Middle East who have, well, the richer ones have seawater to drinkable water. Whereas for most places in the US and most countries, it's like turning lake water or river water into drinkable water. Not really seawater, because seawater is really bad stuff. You're usually turning partially drinkable water into very drinkable water. And some places turn sewer water into drinkable water, which is the way of the future eventually once we run out of places to get water. And so my job is to run a plant, keep the plant going, like mess with all the, to like adjust chemicals depending on how the water is, adjusting the flow of the water, making sure that the water has a good impact on the environment, the water has a good impact on people, that just a lot of stuff about water. Just making sure water is working out pretty well. Because if I screw up, thousands die. So that's kind of important not to mess up. We're feeding millions of people. Like, everybody needs water. Millions of people need water here in San Diego, so that's my job. It's a very rewarding job civic-wise, for sure. It's very routine, because it's like being on a ship and making sure the ship's running. So you're making sure the engines are running, you're making sure the boilers are working, that kind of thing. That's really what you're doing when it's a plant. It's just a huge ass thing you gotta walk. I'm walking a couple miles a day. I'm walking about like 800 steps a day. It's a lot of walking around, making sure everything's in tip-top shape. And so, because everybody needs water all the time, it's a 24/7 job. So, everyone gets rotating shifts. So the shifts are 6:30 to 4:30 or 2:30, depending on which version of the ship. Because you can have 4 10s or 5 8s, depending on what they need you to do at the moment. So there's that, and then there's that swing, which is 2:30 to 10:30 or 12:30, and then Graves is only 8-hour shifts, which is 10:30 to 6:30 in the morning. And right now, I'm on a 7-day run right now of just the swings, but eventually I'm going to be doing splits, which is graveyard and swings, and then eventually I'll be doing graveyards. And so, dear God, because I'll be doing graveyards, we'll see when I'm going to be awake, and how that affects the channel and everything. For August, I'll be working the weekend, so we will not see Jackbox or Hardcore. If we still do Hardcore, it'll be sporadically through streams. Streams in general will be sporadic. I will have days off, though, and I need to double check when that is real quick. August, I have Tuesday. Every Tuesday I have off. And half of Thursday. And half of Friday. And half of... Ugh. So every Tuesday and half of Friday I have off for August. So those days we'll see a lot of streaming, because those are the days I got off. So expect that. Probably have to also like schedule a doctor appointment and stuff around those days as well for August. Now for September, wrong paper. Now for September, my days off are only Thursday and part of Wednesday. Oh God, dang. All right, so yeah, okay, so those are middle of the week, of course. So yeah, those will be streams. That'll just be me catching up and just getting a lot of content. Like, as we've seen the last couple weeks, I've been just doing like maybe 3 hours a day in the mornings, pretty much, and that's what's gonna happen for a foreseeable bit. Then in October, it'll be that'll be day work, so then we'll see streams like normal schedule used to be. And that'll be for a couple months, and then we'll be back to this madness. So, I've said this a few times in the other vlogs, but just now that I've actually been it, just knowing it better, that's how it's gonna be. So, yeah, no weekend stuff for until October. Conceivably, we could do weekend stuff in September, but I don't know if I want to do it or not. I might want to sleep during the afternoon instead of streaming during the afternoon, because I'm doing graveyard. And I feel like I should be asleep before graveyard so that I'm awake during graveyard. At least that's my plan. We'll see if I actually can pull off sleeping in the afternoon, because that takes, convincing your body and tricking yourself into sleeping at a time you don't normally sleep, and only for like 2 months of the year. Or 2 months of every 7 months is a better way to put it. So we will see. We'll see. There's also a lot of overtime in this job, and people like to not work graveyards, so there's a lot of overtime on graveyards. I don't necessarily want to do that, but it is money, so we'll see. We shall see. We shall see about any of that. But yeah, this is the job, and there's gonna be a lot of overtime potential there, which means there's a lot of chances of me not being able to stream because they want me to come in for overtime, which is just part of the job because, well, people need to not die from water. And ooh, I've got himself in a real busy spot. That's what happened. It's not so bad though when I get the 410s. Like, I'm not so worried about overtime when I'm doing 410s, because that's an extra day, so I can do a shift on the extra day if I want. It's more the 5 days and then doing overtime I'm not really a big fan of. Not so much. So, we'll see what happens there. We'll see. But hopefully, things will be back to kind of normalcy in October, and then for a couple months, and then we'll get back to this madness. And then we just adjust to that for the rest of our life. And we'll see how the stream is affected by that. Yeah. Now, because of that, let's see, the stream stuff, which of course is where we also record most of our content at this point, just so that we're connecting with our audience while also making content. It is FF8. We're going to finish that whenever we get the chance. It's lining up me with Jinx because of my different schedule now, so we can get that done. After that, it's going to be Apollo Justice, because that's the 4th Phoenix game. Then it's going to be the 4th Layton game, and then Chrono Trigger. So that's going to be the voice LP lineup. For hardcore, for the other stuff, it's hardcore and Scarf plays and things like that. So, hardcore Sonic Mania for a while, because we just got that and we should play the crap out of that. Scarf plays Snowman Sky. We did that. We recorded that. There's going to be Scarf plays Dead Cells, because it got released. And then Scarf plays Slay the Spire, because there's a 3rd one. That one I want to schedule, because I want people to be around for that one, because it's fun playing as a community. So I got to figure out when I want to do that one. And then Scarf plays anything else. Indies have fallen to the wayside pretty badly. I really got to get back on that horse somehow. I just don't know how. I'm really turned off from how many indies there are right now. It's just a tsunami of indies. It's way too intimidating, and I don't have the time to dig through that. So I don't know what the hell we're going to do about indies right now. As for the side channel, of course, we're doing Dauntless and Octopath. We're going to be seeing Monster Hunter World probably replace Dauntless for a little bit, until World normalizes for me. And then we'll probably see World and Dauntless and Octopath, because I want to play all of the Octopath. I want to play all of it. It's really good. We're going to see all of Octopath on the side channel. And yeah, Dauntless is just going to slow down just because Monster Hunter World's almost here. And then Monster Hunter World's going to be here. Dauntless is actually releasing a big patch the day before Monster Hunter World. To remind people, Dauntless is here. There's going to be a new beast. There's going to be a bunch of new stuff. So good for them. I'm not going to have a chance to play it because of work. Maybe I will. I don't know. There's going to be an update and all that. Of course, we're going to do like Fortnite like once a week, because I like doing the challenges. And so we got plenty of content on the main channel and on the side channel for different people. And they're all just things I'm having fun playing. The real plan here is just have fun playing. That's really what it is. And there's one more thing. Oh, the podcast. So basically, the podcast is going to come back soon as I can get some guests. That's going to be sporadic now. And now we have a new podcast I'm trying to do. Not going to say weekly, but I will try at least. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. That is going to be the Kirby Dreamcast. So Kirby's Dreamcast is a podcast completely about Kirby. And the main through line to keep it going to keep it regular is Kirby Right Back At You. It's going to be watching the episode, describing the episode, talking about interesting facts about the episode in order from the American side of things. And that should be a lot of fun because I haven't seen this cartoon in a long time and I'm really enjoying watching this cartoon. And on occasion, we'll do other dives like we'll go over all of a game. So, like the first Kirby and So. Like, we'll go first to Kirby's Dream Land and Adventure and Dreamland 2 and so on and so forth. We'll go through all those. Very deep dive on those things. Also deep dives on like Sakurai and Iwata and just the making of Kirby and all those things. Probably like a little bit about the namesake of Kirby. Things like that. Just make it a very interesting, informational podcast. That's the plan there. And it should be a lot of fun. And since I'm a big fan of Kirby, you know it's going to go pretty well, I think. The first episode is up on YouTube. It should also be on Podbean as well. That's where we have our podcast at. I don't necessarily have a topic, kind of, but sort of. Movie-related stuff. So, Christopher Robin. I saw Christopher Robin. I saw that movie. It is a good movie if you're a fan of Winnie the Pooh. It's interesting. Like, it's about Christopher Robin when he's an adult, and it's him reconnecting with Winnie the Pooh and everything. And it's a typical plot of the workaholic learning that family's important kind of thing. And that's what this movie is. Like, another version is, of course, like Liar Liar with Jim Carrey, where he's always working everything and he neglects his family, and then all the lying makes him realize that he cares about his family. Same thing here, but it's Winnie the Pooh helps him realize how important his family is. It's that typical plot line. But because it's Winnie the Pooh, it's incredibly cute and very funny and very entertaining, especially if you're a fan of Winnie the Pooh. Like, when it's just Christopher Robin, it's just Christopher Robin. But when Winnie the Pooh shows up, when you see Tigger, Eeyore, and Piglet, they're the main ones you see the most. It's very enjoyable. Everyone's there, though. The trailer doesn't really show everyone, but they're all there. Kinga and Roo are there. Owl and Rabbit are there. Everyone's there. Everyone but Beaver. But I don't remember if Beaver was an original or not. I only remember Beaver from the cartoon. I don't remember from the Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I don't remember if he's in the old books or not. At the moment, I cannot remember if Beaver's from that far back. But it's very entertaining. I liked it a lot. I really liked the movie. It ends kind of cliche, but it's very enjoyable. And if you're a fan of Winnie the Pooh, it will pull strings, heartstrings, laughter, a lot of good stuff there. And just thinking about, like, this would not be a good introduction, though, because there were kids at this thing, and I'm sure there are kids who have no idea who Winnie the Pooh is, and there are kids who do, because it depends on their age, like, if they just are shown these things. And so I'm curious how it is for them, because it's not an introduction to these characters, it's very much a hello again for these characters. And so I don't know how it works for kids, but for adults who had that in their childhood, it's definitely really good. That's just a thought I had about it. So you're given just Winnie the Pooh without his origin, sort of. Although Winnie the Pooh never really had an origin. It's just, here's a kid, and here's the things he hangs out with. And you have that at the start, because they show Christopher Robin growing up, which is very interesting. Where you have Christopher Robin, he hangs out with them and says goodbye, and then he becomes an adult. And so you kind of are introduced to these characters, but not really. And it's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like Spider-Man Homecoming. It kind of is. Because you skip the stuff that everyone knows. There's references, though. Like, Spider-Man Homecoming references Uncle Ben and stuff like that. In this one, they reference the sticks in the bridge. They reference so many little things from the cartoon or the book in the movie. And so, if you've known them, like, you recognize those references, which is cool. And so, like with Spider-Man, there's references to other things. And yeah, we don't need the origin story again with Spider-Man. Like, this is leading from one thing to another. Why I'm talking this is because Batman's getting another movie, and Batman's getting another origin story. We don't need another origin story. Oh my god. It's like, if we see those pearls hit the ground one more time. So, we've seen the Batman origin story. How many times have we seen the Spider-Man origin story? How many times? So, we've seen the Spider-Man origin story twice. The Tobey Maguire, and I can't remember his name, Amazing Spider-Man. We've seen it twice, and I think we didn't get a third time with Tom Holland. We got it only twice, thankfully. Batman, we've seen it 3 times. The first Batman movie with Michael Keaton. We talk about full circle, going from a DC hero to a Marvel villain. Batman Begins did the origin again. And then Batman vs Superman, we get the origin again. We see the parents get shot to death. We see Martha's pearls hit the ground. And if you want, you can say Gotham is another origin, like that TV show. Again, another origin of Batman. So we keep getting origins of Batman, and we're gonna get another one with this new movie. And it's like, we don't need another one, but we're getting another one. Okay, Jesus. So this is the thing, because when Spider-Man got rebooted, everyone joked about it, and then we hear about Tom Holland's Spider-Man, like, oh my god, it's getting rebooted again. And Batman, to an extent, has also been that as well. Like, it keeps getting rebooted, and we don't always need the damn origin story. I don't feel like kids need to be introduced to the origin story every 10 years. I don't think they do. Everyone knows the story of Spider-Man. Everyone knows the story of Batman at this point. We don't need the origin stories again and again, but we're getting them again. Like, I'm wondering with the MCU whether or not they're going to reboot the universe because of the fact that the XMen are getting acquired, and the Fantastic Four are getting acquired, and there's something else getting acquired. And if they have to do origin stories, dear God. Well, there's two ways about it. So X-Men and the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four, no choice but to reboot that again, do another origin story, because oh my god. Or they just have that they've been in space the whole time and here they come. But then again, that's already being done right now with Captain Marvel. She's been gone, she's going to show up, and so you can't do that too many times, especially with the X-Men. You can't really do the X-Men, because the X-Men, the whole thing is that they're the next line of evolution, so a bunch of random people should be having powers and stuff, unless they're going to do this is the beginning of the mutants. They could do that, I suppose, and then they'll have to cover like Apocalypse because he's the first mutant, things like that. But I don't know. They either do universe stuff happens in Avengers 4, and then they end up in a universe where X-Men are just a thing, so they have all those actors that are already established by Fox. Or they do the one I'm kind of interested in seeing is just mutants just start showing up now. I'm kind of interested in that, where we get a young Xavier and you get a young Wolverine, because we've never seen a young Wolverine, and they age up and everything, and also Magneto's there, and they age up, and then eventually we get the X-Men get formed years later. Like, that would be kind of interesting. Probably not going to get that, but it's just because the MCU has just been so established and just trying to add things in. They keep having like, well, where's this person been? Because it's like when they did the Justice League movie, Wonder Woman's been around since World War I. Well, where the hell was she for World War II kind of thing? You have to ask those questions. In this one, for Marvel, Captain Marvel was around during 1980s or something like that. The question is, where the hell has she been this whole time? She in space, in another reality, in another, like, in just some pocket place? Like, where has she been this whole time? And you ask that one too many times, you're just going to get kind of annoyed asking that question too many times. But that's kind of the thing about comic books in general, is this big event happens, how come these other characters aren't here? What are they busy with? And you either explain that or you just don't, and people just have that hole of like, what the hell? I remember when Civil War happened in the comics, he was in House of M. When Civil War happened in the comics, they took Hulk out of the equation and Thor, because those are two powerhouses. So they took them out of the equation by having Thor's Ragnarok before Civil War, and they had Hulk get sent into space by the Illuminati so that they would not be in the Civil War event coming up. Like, they just had these unrelated events to Civil War happen, and then Civil War happened so that they're not in there, because those two heavy hitters would murder a lot of people, so they didn't want to have them in the Civil War. And there are times when characters are just not around because they actually set up for that. But usually the big events are like, where the hell are these characters or whatever? And it doesn't get explained. It just leaves a hole and people don't really like it very much. And you worry about that with the movies. If there's any big world-ending event, where the hell are these characters? Especially with, like, say, let's go back to DC. They're dealing with Enchantress, right? Where the hell is Batman? Where the hell is Wonder Woman? Where the hell is Superman? Like, where are all these characters when this big world-ending event is happening? Like, why is the Suicide Squad the only ones there? That becomes the question. I'm trying to remember, was Suicide Squad before or after Batman vs. Superman? It was after, so Superman's dead. Okay, Superman's dead at that point. So why isn't Batman there? Why isn't Wonder Woman there? Because Batman's trying to put up together a team. Yeah, some big event like that, Batman can get there real quick. So how come he's not there is a good question. And that's what happens when you have these movies. Really. And I went all over the place with that topic. And that's enough for now. I'm short on time. We don't need another origin story. Oh, real quick, the Venom movie. I'm on two minds on that. I think it might be a fun movie, but it might be a really dumb movie at the same time. I don't know. Some parts about Venom are really cool, some things about Venom are not. It looks like they're doing Separation Anxiety at the same time as the first movie, which I feel like that would be a good sequel. Or I guess they're going to make Carnage be the sequel. Who knows, because it's still the trailers. We don't know what it's going to be just yet. The Shazam trailer looks fun. Aquaman trailer looks good. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with the DCU. Like, that whole universe is kind of a weird mix. The way they're putting it is, Aquaman, my understanding is Aquaman is he's going to be there, but he's also going to be kind of his own kind of universe at the same time. Like, they're all having them be different universes, only combined for the big things. And so it's a weird fuzziness going on there with the DC side of things. I don't know. I don't know what DC can do. I really don't. I hope it's good. There's going to be Suicide Squad 2, and I don't even know why. Suicide Squad 1 was entertaining at points, but also really dumb. It was a really dumb movie, and there are people who feel like it was a masterpiece. They exist. There are people who think Batman vs. Superman is a masterpiece. They exist. And it's like, okay. Thinking these are masterpieces is like thinking Mallrats is a masterpiece. Mallrats is a good movie, but it's just like, that's not a masterpiece. Like, I just threw out a movie right there. There's a lot of movies that are not masterpieces that people just like, this is the thing. It's like, no, buddy, you really like it. That's good for you. That's good for you. But it's bad at the same time. Can't say about Mallrats. But yeah, that right there is the vlog, everybody. That's enough talking out of me. I'm gonna go do Octopath before I gotta run to work. So that right there is the vlog. I had fun. Hope I had fun. Hope you had fun watching and listening, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Let's come by and see you next time.